everybody. So Tuesdays are for curated conversations, and today I'm here in this comfy, cozy corner that we create this scenario with this beautiful painting in the back from Ericka Gehringer that drive to the gallery to bring me a few new paintings that I will post it soon, but to have this very honest and real conversation with me. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, because you know that every time that you are coming to the gallery, I feel like a king.
You're better because I'm here.
I know.
I knew it.
This is the reality. So let's start the interview. The first question that I always ask is how you became an artist.
I think I've always been an artist since I was a little girl. You know, I think most artists talk about that, how they've been artists forever. But when I became serious about it, I was currently teaching at a middle school in Haddonfield. And I decided to take a sabbatical year because I felt like I needed to explore my art. I hadn't done it in ever. And I just sat there in my studio every day and I just, whatever I thought, I just started painting. And in 1 year of dedicating myself to doing that, I knew that that's what I wanted to pursue.
So what was the first thing that you created?
So I remember how my art evolved. I took a printmaking class a long time ago, which is not my medium at all, but my professor, I was interested in handwriting because I feel that people's personality is in the handwriting. So he told me what would happen if I started taking people's handwriting and projecting it onto a canvas and overlapping it, because I was a graphic designer also, and I liked really bold graphic designs. Mm-hmm. And I loved what was happening. I loved the interaction of the they weren't words anymore, they were just these really cool forms. And I think that was the beginning of my artwork. My first series was all based on people's handwritings, people that I knew, and it was kind of giving them a second chance. So I had letters from my grandmother who, you know, she passed away, but by projecting them and making a painting from her handwriting, she was new again. She was there again in a new way. So a lot of my work is about reinventing things and making them new or different in a way.
So to tell the people there is no questions here, we didn't plan anything.
No.
It's a very real conversation.
Yeah.
So now listen to you, I'm pretty sure that somebody out there wanna know what happened between handwriting and this.
Yeah. So the theme of second chances or being unseen has remained in all my paintings. So when I thought I'd done enough with the handwriting, I think you just get tired of a theme. And then I started looking around my house and I just started noticing everyday objects created these really interesting shapes. And I have this thing where I don't like disorganization, and chaos makes me anxious. So I would photograph these things like piles of clothes or things that all of us have, a box of cables, and I'd photograph them and then reinvent them in my style. So it was a way of recreating something that made me anxious into something beautiful that I wanted to look at. So it was a form of control, I guess.
Okay, so tell me, what is the process? Because so far we have the handwriting, second opportunities, a photo.
Yeah, all my paintings are based on photographs. This one is from objects in my house. It's just a pile of clothing, like I said before, where you don't quite fold your laundry in a certain way. And so I'll project it onto the canvas, and then I'll just do these basic outlines of all the shapes, the folds, and that's the hardest part. And then the fun part is the colors, the mixing of the colors and reinventing it. And I'll use maybe 5 or 6 colors, mix them with grays and whites. And I always like to use oranges. And so there's certain colors that I use a lot over and over.
Yeah, I know.
But it's something from my everyday life. And then this one had a lot of improvisation too, where I'm starting to be a little freer with how I paint, instead of just whatever I projected, I try to elaborate on it.
So the beginning is the photo that you projected.
Yeah.
You use a pencil.
I use a color pencil because I found that regular pencils smudge. So I use a yellow color pencil and they work really well.
And then you start going with the flow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I have in mind the colors I want to use. I always use these, lately I've been using these really neutral ochres. And just try to think about the color relationships and how they work. When I used to paint, it was more like paint by numbers, where I'd have one color here and one, and I wasn't really thinking about how they related to one another. Now I'm really thinking about how to mix the colors.
And I always like to add this question to artists, that is like, when do you know that it's finished?
It's hard.
I know, this is because I like to learn from artists and listen to them.
I think I have a few people in my life that I trust their opinion, so you being one of them. I'll send you a picture. I have other friends, artist friends, and just what they think, and I really appreciate constructive criticism, and I like when people make me think a little bit differently, so usually it's a combination of me just knowing it's done and the opinion of people I trust.
Any favorite tool? Tool. Yeah. I know, my English is always perfect.
We always speak in Spanish, so
Yeah.
this is weird. I use mostly paintbrushes, really small, tedious, tiny #2 paintbrushes for all these tiny little lines. I think it's also goes back to that needing to control things. I know I have issues, but that's it, just paintbrushes, that's it, nothing.
So,
small paintbrushes.
With all of these small paintbrushes in a piece like this, 60 by 48, how many hours?
This one was a long time.
This was the black sheep, the special one?
This was really special because when you start something new, I started using negative space, which I hadn't done, and it was difficult for me to jump to that. So I'd say
not to feel the full canvas.
yes. So a lot of things were painting over. This one took me about a month back and forth to finish, but usually about a week for a 20 by 24 maybe.
So are you moving now in this direction?
Yes, the new work that I just brought in has negative space. It just flows better. It has room to breathe. It just feels nice.
You know that we are in the area of the 2 seconds and swipe. So, but I want to continue asking you a few more questions and congratulating you, because in case that you don't know and you didn't see my post before this one, Ericka was selected like one of the 23 artists to collect in 2023 this year by Sachi Art, that is one of the biggest online art gallery in the world. So how do you feel about it?
That was great.
Yeah.
I was shocked, I was honored, I was really happy. They told me last year. I couldn't really say anything until recently. So it was great. It was just all the hard work you put in and people recognizing your work is really special.
Goals,
continue painting, evolving my work, just always being a little uncomfortable while I work. If you get too complacent, things just start to feel old, and I think that's when I know when to move on to something else. So I'm still excited about this work and continue painting and evolving and see where it goes.
struggle.
Every day there's a struggle. I mean, artists, we struggle, we have low moments, we doubt ourselves. So but you gotta keep showing up and you gotta keep working. So I think we all have these internal struggles as artists.
It's good to know for the people to understand the real art industry and the real artists. I think that this is one of the goals of these conversations, so you can meet the real artists behind this painting and understand why and how the artist came to create something beautiful like this. Yellow.
Jello? The color yellow?
Or yellow.
Or Jello, the food?
Or Yellowstone, wherever you want.
So.
The color yellow.
What about it?
Tell me something.
Oh,
Yeah?
about yellow?
Yeah, how you feel about yellow?
I don't love yellow.
You don't?
No.
Do you like Kill Bill? Kill Bill, yellow. No?
No, I don't
Well, I
know.
see yellow in
Oh,
most
yellow.
of your paintings.
Well, yeah, it's I see it more of a neutral. Like it's not like that yellow.
This yellow is only for brave people like me.
Right. I'm not bright, but I do. I have this ochre yellow color that I use a lot as a neutral. It mixes well with a lot of different colors, and I like it.
And the last one, favorite size.
Favorite size is 24 by 36. I think it's a good piece that people, it's not too big, it's not overwhelming, it fits well over a couch, it fits nicely on a wall. This was the first time I worked this large. This is a 48 by 60, and it was challenging. It's hard going a lot bigger than you're used to, but yeah, 20 by 24 or 24 by 36 are my favorite sizes.
Perfect. Something else?
Come see him at J. Nunez.
Don't
They're
come
here.
to see it, buy it.
Buy it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great.
It was great.
I hope that you enjoy it and stay tuned to the next one.
Bye.
Bye.